Gone Fishing with Bob and TJ is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Daiwa Rods and Reels, committed to total quality. Humminbird Wide, fish wide open. And Raider Fiberglass Truck Tops, today's value leader.
Hi, welcome to Gone Fishing. I'm Bob Kirkpatrick. It's the end of October, just a few weeks before freeze up. We're out on Tobin Lake in northern Saskatchewan, and I've got the top guide of the lake, Gary Debian, with me. Gary, you've been telling me about this big pike fishery up here. I know we've always come up here and fished the walleye in this time of year, but the pike are going. What do you think?
Well, I think with the weather the way it is, Bob, I think we're going to have a good day, and it's just a pleasure being here, and I think we're going to have fun.
Talking about the weather, it was snowing on our way out here this morning. It looks like it might hold for a little while. Hopefully we'll get into some decent fish. Anyway, we got to run across the lake?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, let's get our life jackets on and make a run. It's going to be a cold run. Oh, there's one, Gary. Oh, he hit hard. Look at this.
Oh, looking good, looking good.
We're moving fast there, but he sure hit hard. You know, he missed it the first time. Tapped it, I fell the tap, I let the line go back, and then bang, he just smacked it.
Sounds good. I'll get my line in here, get this boat turned here for you.
Guess we're still moving forward. He feels real good right now.
Yeah,
hey,
that's
I like
good.
it.
This here, I'll get you back on an even keel.
Hi, I'm Bob Kirkpatrick. Welcome to Gone Fishing. We're out on Tobin Lake in east central Saskatchewan. A fantastic lake, fantastic fishery, and I've got the owner and operator of Silvertip Outfitters, Gary Debian, with me. And Gary, I consider you the top guide on this lake. You've been here a long time, and I sure appreciate the opportunity to come out with you. You know what?
Well,
I think this fish got under a branch there.
He's coming up. He's coming up.
He was tangled up on something. He wasn't coming at all for a minute. Oh, I think we're going to be in for a great day today.
It's looking good. A heck of a way to start. He's staying down nice too, huh?
Yeah.
Might be bigger than we figured.
We started off with a little cool weather this morning on the drive out here. It was snowing, and I thought, oh, we're in for a tough day, but it's cleared off. It's nice and calm. Wind's starting to pick up a little bit now, but yeah, it's sure nice to be out here. We've only got a little bit of time left, and we'll be ice fishing. Got to take advantage of this.
Oh, he's hooked on the bottom.
Hooked on the bottom. That's why he felt so
Yeah.
big. Just a little fella. He must, you know, he got wrapped up. He's got a bunch of weeds and stuff in his mouth. He got wrapped up in some weeds or a log there and felt about 5 times bigger than he is.
Well, he just dove right to the bottom.
Look at that. Look at these. It's right full of mud and weeds.
Well, that's why he gave you such a tussle.
Well, you know, when we're trolling along at 3 or 4 miles an hour and they hit that hard, it's really hard to tell what you've got on. These pike fight so hard. That's a good sized little pike.
Yeah,
a good eater.
Matter with that, huh?
We're not going to keep any today. Let's get him back.
Okay. There he goes. Nice job. Good start.
Well, Gary, we're working this Elk Island. What exactly are you doing here? How are you working it?
Well, we're up to 9 feet of water on the top end of the submerged island, and we drop down to about 35 feet on the edges. And we'll just work that structure back and forth until we find out what we're looking for, Bob.
And if we find any pockets of fish, we'll stop and cast them, or we'll get into the real shallows and cast on there?
Yeah, we'll pass some time doing that, and it's good production.
Now, not only are when we're trolling here, we're doing a few things a little bit different. We're not just dragging the lure out behind the boat. You can catch fish that way, but if you want to increase your hooking percentage, it's a good idea to work that lure a little bit. We're pumping the rod forward, letting it go back. Wait a few seconds, pump it forward again, let it go back. And what that does, the lure speeds up when you pump it forward, and then when you let the line go back, it puts a little bit of slack in the line, and the lure slows down, floats up towards the surface, and then darts forward again. And that looks a lot more like a natural bait fish or a wounded bait fish, and that's going to attract those fish to strike a little more. And I mean, any advantage you can get, you may as well use it. Another thing that we're doing is varying our speed. We're going anywhere from, what, 1 to 4 miles an hour?
Yep. I got one, Bob.
Got one on?
Yep.
Well, Gary, that didn't take long. We just moved to a new spot. We haven't trolled 100 yards, and you got one on.
Well, it's just a little different territory, and sometimes it's all it takes is different scenery.
Yeah, this is an area you call Elk Island?
Yeah, this is where the Patagon and the Saskatchewan River meet, and they turn northward and flow towards the dam. And this is an old island that is completely submerged, and we're sitting right on about 9 feet of water right now. Boy, I got him hog-tied here.
That's why you felt so big. Grab these pliers.
Oh, we got him. He was after it, but he
took a swing at it and missed.
When them big old rappel is there with them 3 hooks there.
Got him right in the belly. Wow.
Well, when they take a bite out of those rappellers and they take them sideways and they just slap them.
Boy, that's unreal the way he got hooked in there. Whew. That's a nice fish. Gee, they're chunky at this time of year, aren't they?
They're just filled right out, aren't they?
Well, that guy had a little bit of a sore belly, but I think he'll be all right. Hold him here, make sure he's fine. Maybe that's, there he goes. Well, that's a good sign, Gary. Like I said, we only went 100 yards and got that one. Let's work this area, and these fish are probably chasing those bait fish up into little pockets and feeding up on them. And maybe we can find some, stop and cast for a while. What are we going to do first? Just troll around and see if we can locate some spots?
Yeah, we'll just make one loop up to the north end of the island, and then we'll come back down, and then we'll do some casting in this area here.
Sounds good. Now, Gary, when we get up to the top of this island here, we're going to stop and cast for a while?
Yeah, we got a good drop.
Oh, maybe not. I got one on here.
Got one?
Oh, yeah.
I'll get mine out of the water here right away. How's he feel?
Oh, he feels good right now. We're moving along at a pretty good speed there. I think we're going about 3 miles an hour.
A little bit here to...
Wait till he slows down a little bit. He's getting a pretty good pull.
Feels a little different with that long pole, all that backbone to it, huh?
Well, we're using about 7.5 foot rods, and when you're trolling like this for fish that could be up in that 30-pound range, you have to use the proper equipment. Now, we are using as light a line as we can. There he is up on the surface. He must have rolled up. Using about anywhere from 10 to 14-pound test line, and bait caster reels, and 7-foot rods with a good backbone on them, but still a sensitive enough tip that you can feel your lure vibrating, and if you happen to stick the rod in the rod holder, at least you've got a little forgiveness when that fish hits.
Sure.
He peeled off a lot of line on me.
Hey,
now the idea of reason for using a bait caster reel too, the drag is so good on them, and with heavier line they work a lot nicer than a spinning reel.
He's not a bad fish.
Not a bad fish at all. Hit that perch-colored rapella.
Let's see if I can just grab him from the other side here. Open up.
Whoa, watch those hooks. Whoa, not done yet.
He's Still got a little fight to him.
Got a good hold of him?
Not yet. Just get there. Once he flares his gills, he's going to do something.
All right. I'm going to get these gloves off here and give you a hand here.
Okay.
Jaw spreader, a real necessary piece of equipment when you're fishing with pike. For pike, you've got a terrible set of teeth in them, and you don't want to get your hands in there. There, that didn't come out too bad. Let me see this guy.
Get him. Have a look at him there, Bob. Got him?
Got him.
Just mine out there. That's
Now,
nice.
if you hold on to them like this with your thumb in here, you're not going to hurt the fish. You can hold on to them for a quick picture, or if you need to hold on to them to get that hook out. I don't have my hand up in his gills, just on the side there and holding on like this, and normally they'll stay fairly calm until you get them back in the water. I think we should get this one back right away.
Yeah, he got a lot of line. He's stressed out a little bit, but he should go.
Just hold him here for a second, make sure he's revived, enough strength to swim away on his own. Put up a good fight. I had a lot of line out there. Ooh, there he goes.
A lot of steam left, Bob.
No problem there. Well, that's great. Let's try, see if we can pick one more off the top of this island before we have to go.
Sounds good. Nice job.
Just seen a nice fish rise out here. This sandy bottom and clear water, you can watch those lures coming back from a long ways. Maybe we'll get some follows later on.
And look at how those big lures just tear up that sand on the bottom there a little bit.
Bumping
Just
into the
make
sand a little bit. It's great.
Make a little bit of mud cloud there and drive them old northerns crazy.
This lure is a little bit out of tune. You gotta run it off to one side a bit. It's important to tune the lures that you're using. You don't want them running off to one side. You want them, when you cast out and reel them in, they should come back straight back to you. If critical when you're casting, but more so if you're trolling. Oh, there's another rise right there. If you're trolling and the lure's running off to the side, it's not getting anywhere near to the depth that it's supposed to, so you've got no idea how deep it's running. You can see this thing's still darting off a little bit to one side. What you do to tune a lure is just take a pair of needle nose pliers and bend the eye of the hook over a little bit opposite way that it's running. Keep trying it. It takes a couple minutes to get it tuned up, but it's well worth it. Once you get it tuned up, it should last all day. If you do get a big fish on and it tears it up pretty bad, it's a good idea to check it and retune the thing again. Well, Gary, the main forage in this lake is ciscos, isn't that right?
Yeah, there's a lot of ciscos in here, Bob. Your ciscos and your perch are pretty much your bait fish for your walleye and your northerns.
Now, I know any lake that's got a lot of ciscos in it is probably going to produce more trophy pike than lakes like that we have up here. Anyway, ciscos are one of the prime forage. They're going to produce those big pike because they're a real fatty fish, and the conditions in Tobin Lake here are just great for ciscos with all the wood still down there and the deep water close by. And at this time of year, what happens, the ciscos are normally a deep water fish. In the summertime, they're down real deep in the cool water, and then in this time of year, when the water temperature gets to the mid-40s, they come up in the shallows to get ready to spawn. They spawn, I don't know, right around 40 degrees, 38 degrees. So when the water cools off like this, the ciscos come up in the shallows, and it's the same time that the pike start feeding up for winter. So that's why you catch these big pike in the shallows late in the fall. In the summertime, you can catch small pike in shallow, weedy areas just about anywhere. And as the summer progresses, the big pike are hard to find. Now, there's been lots of stories about big pike don't feed, they lose their teeth, they have sore mouths, all these are myths. What usually happens is these big pike are looking for colder water, and they may be down 50, 60 feet where the cool water is, so they're harder to catch. But when the ciscos move up in the shallows and the water cools off, the pike move up with them. We're at Lakeland Leisure in Nipawin, and we have one of the service technicians, Arvid, who's going to show us how to winterize your motor for winter storage. Arp?
Sure. We got 4 basic things that we check when you're winterizing your outboard motor. First of all, you're going to run your engine. You're going to remove this cover from the carburetor, and you're going to spray it with storage seal. This is to seal your engine and to prevent the moisture that's in your engine from rusting any internal parts. You're going to spray it right into this area here. Once you've completed that, you can shut your engine off, you can unhook the fuel lines and drain your bowl of the carburetor just to make sure there's no fuel left in it to clog lines and internal carburetor parts. Next, you're going to look at your lower unit. You're going to drain the lower unit completely by removing the bottom plug and the top plug. Now, when you're draining the lower unit, you want to look at the color of the oil. You're going to look for water present in the oil and look for foreign materials such as filings or any such thing as that comes out with the oil. Mercury supplies a Quicksilver gear lube, which we use to fill the lower unit with. When we fill it from the bottom until it comes out the top. Then we install both plugs, and there you're done with the lower unit. You have a pivot point on your transom, which is right here, and you also have another pivot point at the back right there, which we're going to grease to remove all the water that gets trapped in these pivots. Basically, those are the main 4 steps that you're going to take. Plus, you're going to, if you have an inboard fuel tank in your boat, you're going to need to put stabilizer in it to keep it from going stale over the winter months.
Now, Arp, those 4 main points again are?
You're going to storage seal your engine. You're going to drain your fuel system completely. You're going to drain and refill your lower unit, and you're going to grease all the pivot points on your outboard.
Okay, Gary, you're the owner and operator of Silvertip Outfitters here at Nipawin on Tobin Lake. How long have you been doing that?
Yeah, I've been on the lake now for 13 years, and I've been full-time outfitting for 7 years. It's been nothing but fun.
Well, you've watched this whole system grow and become a real trophy lake, haven't you?
Yeah, for sure, and it's just great to all the people you meet and all the experience you encounter, and bottom line is this is the one that you're looking for right here.
Oh, wow. Oh, there he is. That's a nice fish.
Yeah, he looks like about 10, 12 pounds to me. He sure took that big old Rapala there, though, didn't he?
We almost had it to the boat.
Well, yeah.
It hit just a couple feet from the boat, so. Now, you notice the size of that lure. That's an awful big lure, but at this time of year, big lures usually mean big fish.
Oh, yeah, big lures, big fish, without a doubt. And
now, how are we going to land this thing?
Well, I think he's bigger than we think.
I think that's bigger than 10.
Yeah.
You've got a cradle here. I've never used one of these.
Yeah, they
Let's
work
give it a
real good,
try.
Bob. That's
a lot less stress on the fish and on the fishermen. We'll just play him here just a little bit and tire him out so he doesn't really hurt himself. So in your years of guiding here, what's the biggest pike that you've seen out of this lake?
The biggest pike that I've seen is 27 pounds, but there has been bigger ones caught. There's actually we were the 3rd largest in the world for a while with a 38 3/4 pounder.
Ooh.
This one here is a little bigger.
That's bigger than 10.
We'll just play him here just a little bit more and. Just watch your hand in that hook there, Bob.
Well, the hook got caught in the cradle?
That's okay, that's okay.
There we go. This takes a lot of pressure off the fish. Well, I'll tell you what, that is way bigger than 10 pounds.
Well, it's just my eyesight's going bad as I'm getting a little older here.
You misjudged on that one.
I said he looked.
Okay, we got him here, Bob.
Oh, look at that.
Wow, what a monster.
Isn't that nice, huh?
That is gorgeous.
That's a Tobin Lake northern pike.
Well, that's what we're here after. You
Yeah.
told me we had an opportunity to catch some big fish. I know they're in here. They're a little tough to catch, but they're definitely here. That's proof.
Yeah, no, it's slow, but when you catch one like that, it's worthwhile all day sitting out here catching them the cold.
Well, let's get this one back in the
Okay,
water.
we'll get him in the water here. Okay.
Well, get the
There we
cradle
go.
out of the way.
You grab his bottom end there, Bob. We'll get him going here.
Oh, geez, not going to take very long. Wow. Now, even though the fish put up a good fight like that, didn't, with that cradle, didn't stress them out any more than we had to. Get the hook out. Great method, this cradle. Works fantastic. And the way you've got it set up here, all marked out, you can tell how big the fish is without taking it out of the water. So
Yeah,
that's
very,
perfect.
Very little stress on them like that, Bob. And usually in the net, they have a tendency to roll and get tangled up. With this here, it's an easy way to do it. And like you say, no stress on the fish whatsoever.
Well, with the water temperature as cold as it is too, these fish don't get stressed out as bad. The temperature of the water is mid-40s, and those fish are back in there healthy and ready to go again. Well, Gary, I'd sure like to thank you for a great day out on the lake. It's been a riot.
Well, it was my pleasure, Bob. Anytime that you can get out fishing like this and have this much fun, it should be illegal.
You know, we've only got maybe a few weeks, maybe even only a few days until ice starts coming on the lake, so and it's nice to take advantage of that last fall fishing. There isn't a whole bunch of pressure out here right now. We've only seen a couple other boats on the water, and it's obvious from what you've seen today, the big fish are here.
Oh, for sure. And if we get a chance, maybe we can get back out tomorrow for a little while. If not, well, next season.
I got to cast one more time. Starting to get cold, and it's going to be dark pretty soon. By the time we get to the boat launch and get loaded up and out of here, it'll be pitch black, so maybe we better call it a day.
Sounds good to me. Cup of hot coffee will taste really great.
Sure will. Make sure you join us again next time on Gone Fishing.
Gone Fishing with Bob and TJ is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Daiwa Rods and Reels, committed to total quality. Humminbird Wide, fish wide open. And Raider Fiberglass Truck Tops, today's value leader. While in Nipawin, cast and crew of Gone Fishing with Bob and TJ stayed at the Kingfisher Inn. Our special thanks to Gary Debian at Silver Tip Outfitters.